Alright, guys. Well, it has been quite the weekend for Mario fans. So we have gotten so much content for the Mario movie popping up. Just so much, just an unbelievable amount. Ever since Nintendo and Universal dropped the final trailer for the Mario movie, it has just been non-stop, pedal to the metal, full go. I mean, we are 3 weeks and we have seen so much come out. So much. They are ramping up advertising like crazy, and it has been exciting to say the least. I'm going to go through all of these trailers and I'm going to kind of give you my impressions of them. There wasn't too much shown to us, but there was little tidbits that were shown to us that kind of give us more of an idea of what this movie is going to be about. Again, Nintendo has been very secretive of what they're showing, so obviously they're not going to show too much, but it's all very fascinating. So without further ado, let's get it going. Alright, so this ad pretty much just goes through all the heroes and just showing everyone off. We get a little bit of Peach standing her ground against Bowser, even though I'm pretty sure she won't stand a chance, but you know, that's just my thoughts on it. We'll just have to wait and see what actually happens in the movie. And then we get a little bit more, we actually see a little bit more of Tanuki Mario. That's actually pretty cool. We see him flying around a little bit, and clearly he gets it. I'm assuming this has gotta be. This scene looks like it's very much towards the end, towards the ending battle. The one where you see Mario and DK fighting side by side, defending the Mushroom Kingdom from the impending invasion of Bowser. So, clearly somewhere along the way, Mario gets the Tanuki suit, and I'm guessing this is when he really starts to take flight, quite literally. So, that's exciting. And it's cool that we're actually seeing the Tanuki suit. I mean, we all knew it was coming, but it's just cool to see it. It's just cool to see it shown off here. So right here we see Toad trying to be a macho man in front of Peach, trying to prove his worth and that he can be valuable towards the journey. Because according to Keegan-Michael Key, we're going to get a more adventurous Toad, one that wants to go out and just explore and have an adventure. So clearly he's trying to be tough to impress Peach, and she clearly falls for it, and she's like, "You're coming with us." So I think that's kind of a funny thing. And now this is quite cool because we see him literally taking the jump on this piranha plant. I'm actually going to go out on a limb here and assume that this is the very same piranha plant that you see that has been defeated when you see DK getting his fire ability, when Mario kicks him the question mark block. This must be, again, during that whole ending fight scene that I'm assuming it's an ending fight scene. So, because you can see other enemies there. You can see the Sledge Bros, you can see the Spinies, you can see Goombas and Koopas, and somewhere in there might be a Hammer Bros or one of the other ones. So, it's interesting to get some more action from him. And, oh, poor Toad, poor Toad. Toad really wants to be friends with Mario here, but Mario's not exactly resonating with that, so I hate to break it to you, Toad, but I don't think that's gonna happen here. This is further solidifying my whole idea that this blue spiny Koopa is one of Bowser's main men, aside from Kamek, obviously. He seems to be the general of the army, so I think he's going to play a major role in this movie, but I want to know what you guys think of him, because he's very, very present in almost all the trailers I've seen him. So it's going to be interesting to see what his role is in the Bowser's army. I'm assuming it's going to be like a general or a captain of sorts, so yeah, just let me know what you guys think of him. Oh my gosh. Seth Rogen went for it. He went for it. He went for it. He says, I'll just play the clip here.
It is on like Donkey Kong!
Yeah, they actually went for it. So, All right, so this one is actually very Peach centric. It looks like it's highlighting Peach's arc throughout the film, which I'm not entirely sure what Peach's arc is in this movie. I mean, we can pretty much assume what Luigi and Mario's is gonna be, and even Toad to a lesser extent, but Peach is still kind of enigmatic. I'm assuming it's just gonna be her trying to do, do everything in her power to defend the Mushroom Kingdom. So, as you can see, that's exactly what she's doing here. This particular scene is quite interesting because we actually see Peach in action kicking this fake Bowser, and I can't help to get a little bit of girl boss energy, but I mean, it makes sense for her character in this moment. She is the leader of the Mushroom Kingdom. I won't dive in too much on this whole matter because I'm actually going to be doing that in a whole separate video. I think I think it warrants a whole separate video. So this is interesting because for the longest time, I thought she was saying no pressure, but now they're actually showing she's saying they're counting on us. It's clearly putting a lot of pressure, and you can see that he's kind of overwhelmed by it. So, but clearly he's got to step up to the role, otherwise the Mushroom Kingdom is kind of doomed. This one's kind of all over the place because it shows off enemies and heroes together, and then we have this little scene where this big old Kong is coming out and yelling at our heroes, and clearly Toad and Mario are they're not ready for it. But Peach is just like, okay, buddy, what are you doing here? This must be when they first get to the Jungle Kingdom, so clearly I'm assuming that Peach has already dealt with this quite a bit before. But you can't help but laugh at her face. I mean, just look at her. She's like, ah! She simultaneously looks like she's ready to put him down and, like... Anyway, yeah, this is kind of funny because Toad is just like, oh no, what is going on? He's clearly never had to deal with this. We get more or less of what we've already seen. More Mario and the Rainbow Road action. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Now, this is quite interesting because this is a little scene we haven't seen before. And those little toads in the background, the ones with the halberds, seem like they're completely useless because as far as I know, toads are very peaceful individuals. They're not exactly geared for war. And just assuming from what we've seen in the games, they're not exactly good at their jobs, so they're more of I would say they're more of a decorative position, plowing along here. Now, in this one, Peach is showing off Mario to all the toads, in which this little toad is actually very smart in asking, well, who is this guy? And to which Peach responds with this absolutely just hysterical look. She's like, what? It completely caught her off guard. She was expecting nothing but applause, but she wasn't actually expecting someone to ask a smart question. So clearly she wasn't ready for that, and she actually genuinely looks concerned. And god damn it, Peach is just too sexy here. Oh my gosh. This scene, we can clearly see Bowser looking through what I can only assume is some pair of binoculars. He's clearly spying on something, possibly maybe keeping a tab on Mario's training or doing something. I don't know what he's looking at, but he's looking at something with intent focus. This little bit is actually quite interesting because you can clearly see Bowser's playing the piano. What tune he's playing, I'm not sure, but I'm actually excited to see what they do because I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he's playing the original castle theme from Super Mario Brothers, or he could be playing the fortress theme from Super Mario Brothers 3, or just about any other Bowser track from any of the other games. It would be interesting to hear a piano cover of either one of those. It would be interesting. But what is more fascinating with this particular scene is that Kamek is in it, obviously, as you can see, but it's not just his presence, but what he is saying to Bowser. So in this, he is commenting to Bowser to the extent of Peach is training Mario, to which Bowser responds, "He is no threat to me." This is interesting because clearly Bowser is not yet seeing Mario as a problem, which, is understandable, but I almost thought that they were going to kind of do some kind of backstory where Bowser is aware of Mario's presence and is kind of forecasting this day to come. And he sees Mario as an enemy, as a threat, but clearly that's only going to be built up towards. So, because obviously, Mario's just some plumber from another universe as far as he's concerned, so he doesn't see Mario as a threat. It's going to be exciting to see how that's handled. And by the way, I just love these kind of details. Them showing Bowser playing the piano, there's something about it. It's just so cool. It's so cool to see him have a more eclectic taste in things rather than just being stone cold focused on kidnapping Peach all the time. It's interesting to see this dynamic. It kind of reminds me of Davy Jones in Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, and that whole scene where he's playing the organ. It just has that vibe towards me, so I'm excited to see that. This whole trailer just highlights Mario's training and how he gets better and eventually just becomes the stone cold killer that he is. Now, this next one is probably going to be one of the most interesting because even though we've seen it, this actually has a more interesting dynamic. Now, the reason that this is interesting to me, even though we've seen it before, is what Mario's reaction is here. Obviously, this is the first time entering the Mushroom Kingdom, and this is clearly his first interaction with an actual Toad. But the reason it's surprising to me is because I thought Toad was going to show up earlier, possibly even within Mario's kingdom. Maybe he was sent there for a reason. But this clearly debunks that because, just the way Mario reacts. And I have to give props towards Chris Pratt again, because the way it's conveyed, the way his shock and awe towards seeing a Toad for the first time, just like, it's a mushroom. It's a talking mushroom.
That's a little mushroom man. A little mushroom man talking to me.
My impression of it doesn't do it any justice, but it's just further proof that I think that Chris Pratt is gonna do a perfectly fine job with Mario. Maybe he won't be quite at the level of Charles Martinet, but that's to be expected because Charles Martinet has been doing Mario's voice for well over 30 years now, approximately. But his wahoos and all of his Mario stuff and Let's Go and all that stuff is actually really good. So I have to give props towards him. There's been so much dumped that I don't even know if this is the extent of it. I've been trying to keep a tab of everything that's been going on with the Mario movie, but again, they dumped so much over the weekend that it's just hard to comprehend. And I've been trying to keep up, but it's just hard. It's just hard at this point. So that's what I've seen so far. But try and let me know if I missed anything here. If there was any footage I missed, because this stuff has been popping up everywhere. It's been popping up on YouTube, it's been popping up on TV, it's been popping up on TikTok. There's just too much. It's just too much. They've gone full steam ahead, and I'm super excited. But I want to hear what you guys have to think about it, so hit me up in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit that like button. And subscribe as well if you're feeling particularly generous. Mario wants you to subscribe, doesn't he? And I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye now.